Hey everyone, welcome to Spiral Emanations, where we look for the secret patterns underneath today's headlines. I'm your host, Sky Gracely, broadcasting from sunny Los Angeles. Thank you all for tuning in.
And I'm Reese Barrows, coming to you from a much grayer, slightly drizzlier London. Glad to be here with you, Sky.
We've got a wild episode for you today. Our theme is the Sea King's Ultimatum. Monsters rising from the depths. I had this totally normal plan to just chill at the beach after the 4th of July, but yeah, Malibu decided to go full Twilight Zone. Whole bunch of people talking about like a 20-foot octopus. At first I thought it was a TikTok prank, but now I'm not so sure.
You're getting all the fun, Sky. Meanwhile, British news got very excited about something odd off Brighton Beach. Our version of sea monster is usually a dead haddock. I'm feeling left out.
But you guys, what's actually happening in the world's oceans? And why are all these monster stories everywhere in the news lately? Well, tonight we're diving deep, pun intended, with someone who knows as much as anyone can about weird stuff in the sea. Our guest tonight is Captain Mirabelle Magruder. Everyone calls her Mags. She's a legendary submersible pilot, ocean engineer, and a dash collectors of very strange stories. Welcome, Mags.
Glad to be here, Sky. Thanks for having me. Honestly, most days I prefer a mystery in the water over rush hour on land.
We're honored to have you, Mags. I've been wanting to ask you questions for ages.
Before we get into it, a quick shout out to Brian, our audio engineer. If it sounds like we're actually in the same room, that's all him. Brian makes us sound way smoother than real life.
It's true. If you hear seagulls tonight, that's just Brian adding a little ambiance. He's the magician behind the curtain.
All right, so Reese, before we get the real stories from Mags, have you ever seen, anything truly unexplainable on a beach?
Not in person, no. But there's something profoundly uncanny about how many ships just disappear without a trace. The sea keeps her secrets well. So, let's talk about what's happening right now in the news. The US Navy's just announced these massive delays. They can't get their new carriers finished on time, and their fleet's shrinking. Meanwhile, there's all this footage going viral of sea creatures that nobody can explain. It just feels like too many weird things happening at once. It's not just dry dock issues, there's something deeper going on.
My whole feed right now is monster this, monster that every single day. But honestly, Mags, is any of it real? Do you really believe people are filming actual monsters, or is it just, one giant prank?
Well, the rumors aren't new. What's changed is, now everyone has a camera in their pocket. What used to be sailor talk is public record. Most of the footage marked fake only got called that because nobody could wrap their heads around what they saw.
So wait, how did you get into all of this weird salvage and monster investigation stuff?
I started as Navy salvage, deep dives, sub work, the usual. Then I did a mission in the Puerto Rico trench that went sideways. Came back as the only survivor, and nothing looked the same. Let's just say, once you see behind the curtain, you can't go back. Now, I run a salvage outfit that's not on any official Navy list. And if there's a job people are scared to touch, that's usually where I end up.
Mags, there's a story you tell that goes much further back than the modern Navy. Something about ancient pacts with the ocean. Are you willing to share that with us tonight?
Sure. Before countries, before charts and engines, people who lived by the sea knew one thing. They weren't in charge. Every old coastal civilization, Phoenicians, Polynesians, Celts, you name them, they all offered something to the ocean, each with their own names for what lived down there, but the respect was the same.
So you're saying there was some kind of, actual agreement between ancient people and, actual sea gods or something?
Closer than you'd think. In 1946, after World War II, the Navy was spooked by things they couldn't explain. Missing ships, strange disappearances. A crew took a ship out to the Bermuda Triangle, brought psychic mediums and lost relics, and tried to bargain with emissaries. Giant, glowing, not human. We call them Sea Kings now.
But you mean a real treaty? As in, sign on the dotted line with actual sea monsters?
Signed, sealed, but not for public eyes. They wanted protection for ships and storms kept away. In return, rituals, gold, and silence about certain places kept things mostly peaceful unless we forgot the rules.
If you look into partially declassified files and overlay dates with post-war occult circles, there are, let's say, remarkable coincidences, rituals at sea, and very specific ship losses if they didn't follow through.
I've seen artifacts from that era. I carry a piece of black coral from the first meeting. It's marked with symbols you don't find in any Navy archive. And, sometimes, the ocean answers to it.
So, what happens if that deal with the Sea Kings gets broken? Does it just go away? Or does something worse happen?
For decades, the Navy honored the deal, kept up the rituals, the offerings. But in the last 10 years, they got cocky. Stopped sending the gifts, used new tech that went too deep, disturbed old sanctuaries. Deep sea mining, heavy sonar, the Sea Kings noticed. You start seeing things, brand new ships with engine failures, hulls carved with symbols nobody recognizes, DNA from unknown species, they can't even enter into the system, monsters tangled in naval gear, just washing up. It's all a message.
Wait, so you think these Navy delays, why they can't get the new carriers ready, is because they broke the old promise? It's not just bad luck?
It's a warning. The ocean doesn't pick sides, but it tallies debts. If the Navy doesn't pay, the problem floats up for everyone to see.
It tracks. That's been the pattern for centuries. Ancient Greeks lost ships when they skipped the right sacrifices, or the old white ships lost in Britain. Even in the Pacific, Polynesian tapu zones punished those who ignored them. There's precedent for this.
Choose to ignore old boundaries, and the sea reminds you who's in charge. We're just seeing the beginning.
So what does all this mean for, normal people? Should everyone be afraid to go to the beach now?
If you're not the one breaking old laws, you're probably safe. But ask anyone working the coast, lifeguards, fishermen. They're seeing things that don't fit the old order. We've got cryptids with Navy tags knotted in their flesh. Carcasses covered in runes no one on land can translate. If the Navy doesn't fix the pact, the weird will become normal.
And this isn't just the US. These old agreements are being tested everywhere. It's a signal that we've pushed the limits, and the ocean wants respect.
So, basically, if you depend on the sea, maybe don't ignore the old wisdom, even if it sounds, totally out there. I'm honestly a little creeped out now, and also kind of fascinated. I feel like this just ruined my next beach picnic.
Maybe I'll finally brave the Thames, but I'll be sure to leave an offering, just in case.
Mags, what's the bravest thing you've ever done? The scariest moment, if you don't mind sharing.
Puerto Rico Trench, 2017. Whole mission went bad. I was alone, sublights failing, something huge outside the window. I had my old Navy pin in my pocket. For some reason, I held it out. Didn't say anything, just offered it. Next thing, the threat faded, and I made it back. I've had a glowing mark on my wrist ever since. It lights up when something from that world's near.
That's astonishing. Thank you for telling us that, Mags.
Wow. Seriously, thank you. That's really brave. Mags, thank you so much for sharing your stories and for honestly making us respect the ocean on a whole new level. Everyone listening, I hope you all make smart choices on the water. And if you want to see the wild side of the sea, follow Mags online. Just don't blame us for the nightmares.
And remember, the past isn't always gone. Sometimes it's just waiting to remind us of its power.
If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review Spiral Emanations. It really helps us out. One last thank you to Brian, our audio wizard. He's the reason we sound halfway human every week. If anything glitched tonight, maybe it was the Sea Kings. Or maybe Brian just needs more coffee. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Stay curious. And we'll see you next time on Spiral Emanations.